Hi, and welcome to a new series under the Visibility Unlimited podcast and the Visibility Unlimited Spotlight, the video portion of the podcast. I'm doing something new called Social Impact Spotlight. There are so many people doing amazing work in the social impact space, and it all ties down to diversity, equity, inclusion, and culture. But I really wanted to feature them and showcase them so that they can really speak about what they are doing and how you can get involved with what they're doing. So as you know, I'm going to ask all of my guests the same 8 questions. I am not introducing them. They will introduce themselves, but it's going to start with the first question after I say hello. My first question is, and you can respond with, start your question, your sentence with, I am. Who are you?
I am a father.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And what's your name with the I am?
I am Sherman Dilla Thomas.
Lovely. I'm so excited to speak to you. You have no idea. My second question is, though, what does social impact mean to you?
That's a huge question. I don't think it has a particular definition beyond what it means to any particular person. And for me, I think social impact is something that happens that society feels, and hopefully something that happens that society feels for the better.
I like that. So then what do you do?
I'm a Chicago historian. I tell Chicago history stories online and in person. I do lunch and learn lessons. I also take people on engaging and enriching neighborhood tours, or where we aim to change the perspective about marginalized spaces in the city of Chicago.
So what does your tours consist of? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So most of the time it depends on the group as to what type of tour they'll receive. I'll give you an example. If I have children from 7th grade on all the way up to seniors in high school, and I'm really trying to establish how history affects where they find themselves today. So we'll be on my bus. It's 50-passenger bus. We'll drive through neighborhoods. Hopefully it's the neighborhoods that they go to school in. And if the neighborhood has vacant lots, I'll say, well, why do you think they have vacant lots? And we'll discuss restrictive racial covenants and redlining and how that helped with resolving, how that helped create those issues, right?
Wow. And then I know you also do, I won't say all the names, you can say them, government tours or adult tours. What do they consist of?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do public facing tours on the weekend. Anyone can buy a ticket. When you get on, we do everything from why a particular street is called that street, right? I describe different type of bricks for you, Chicago common bricks from facade bricks. We also kind of explain why neighborhoods have the names that they have, right? Who was there before? What demographic was there? Was this neighborhood a village, or was it just a part of the original city footprint? And then we talk about like how those things connect us, right? A lot of the architecture here in Chicago is pretty identical as it relates to sides of the city. So why do the bungalow houses look so much nicer on one side of the street, on one side of the city than on the other side? They were built at the same time by the same people. But then we also try to promote like the civic pride of Chicago to every group, right? Curtis Mayfield's from here, or Shaka Khan, or Black History Month as a concept, women's suffrage. So we point to those things too.
Wow. It's a true learning opportunity for anyone that's stepping on that bus.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What is your why behind your why? Why? It's not just why are you doing it, but what's really the why behind it?
I think the why behind the why is what history has done for me in my personal life. I was a teenage, boy and with angst like everyone else, but I was always so aware of history that it wouldn't allow me to act a particular way in any particular space, right? So if I was aware that I was at a very historic church, right, then I am okay. I just got a ticket while I'm sitting in the car.
Oh.
Like I don't understand how. But that's the other reason why I do what I do. History teaches us this is a perfect life gives you lemons, give lemonade. There's this beautiful thing called discernment that we find from history. And that's probably my why behind the why. The rule as a security guard may be don't let people in the store with a mask on. Now, the rule is you're doing that so that you won't get robbed. And if you happen to get robbed, the cameras catch the people. But discernment tells you that if someone comes in coughing and they're not feeling well and they're going to the Theraflu, you may not want to impose the no mask rule at that time for your benefit and theirs. Absolutely. And so history teaches you when people broke the rule in the name of discernment to make things better for all. And so the discernment now would have been, I see him physically sitting in his car. And if something were to occur, he needed to move. I also see he has a laptop in his face and this economy sucks. And that's another person in the city looks like they're working and we all benefit when we all work. And discernment would have had them walk and ticket another person. Right. But
knock on the window, say something.
Yeah.
You know, keep it moving, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Oh, I really hope the listeners and those that are watching, if you're not sure what discernment is, he just explained it so clearly and so eloquently that you need to go back and even just research it and make sure that that's part of your daily life, because that can change everything.
Yeah.
And the way that we're looking at history now, and this is why I'm so intrigued by you taking this upon yourself. Did you, and I'm off my 8 questions, sorry, but did you grow up and say, I want to be a historian?
Oh, no, I didn't know that there was a such thing as that, at least that I could be a historian. I thought you had to go be a history professor and, you know, that's the only path to it. So that certainly was not what I wanted to be, but I understood. Even when I was 5, I was very curious to know who were the families that lived in my house before I did, right? I wanted to know the names of the boys or girls who may have had my room before. And so it's just always been a part of me.
I love that. You are here to shake things up by what?
I'm here to shake things up by pointing the light of truth and the light of history on today. And I think that certainly shake things up, particularly in my city. Whenever the young Black, young brown males or females, any kind of street kind of thing goes on, it's immediately one, where the parents, and 2, why they don't care about their spaces. And I think shaking things up is acknowledging that you don't even have gangs in integrated spaces in the United States. And so when you start with a policy of segregation, you are forcing groups of people to form cliques, and then those cliques oftentimes run off, right? We have monopolies in this country, right? It starts off as a good business, but then once that business gets so much power, we have to come in and break it up, whether it started good or not. So it's the same thing with our urban gangs, and history teaches us that it was segregation that created them. Now, how do I know that? It's very simple. The names are of the gangs tell you that story, right? They can't be the Latin Kings if they're in an integrated neighborhood, because the Irish guy is going to make them change the name. You don't get the Black disciples, right? You don't the Bloods because Black men called each other blood, right? Those things occurred in segregated neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods were purposely segregated. So, you know, though teaching that is how I'm going to shake things up.
I love that. And you want the world to know what?
I want the world to know 2 things. One, that everything starts with a genuine wish. So if we want things to be better, right, we wish to have a constitution. Somebody wished for a plane to take off. Somebody wished to create a car, and then it happened. And I think a lot of times in this world, we all just won't stop and genuinely wish for a better world for all. Mm-hmm. That's what I want the world to know. It's okay to have that genuine wish. And the second thing, selfishly, I want the world to know that everything great about America comes from Chicago.
I knew that was coming. So your social impact focus is what?
My social impact focus is putting positivity in the social media atmosphere. So storytelling and positive, highlighting of marginalized spaces, and then physically exploring marginalized spaces and inviting tourism to those spaces.
And so you just answered my next question. We're almost finished. Why should people care about social impact? Why do they care about Chicago? Why should they care?
Well, my dad said a rising tide raises all ships. And so he also, my mother would complain about my neighbor's yard. And my dad said, if you send one of the boys over there, or if I go over there complaining about their yard, that may cause some conflict. But if we start to take really, really, really good care of our yard, by comparison, at one point, he's going to get tired of looking at it and he's going to take care of his lawn. And then if that doesn't happen, perhaps they don't have a means to take care of their lawn. And then that's in taking care of your lawn, you should help your neighbor. And so I say all that to say is that's how I feel about every city on earth, right? I'm doing the best to take care of Chicago so that Chicago looks better and inspires others. But then also in recognizing that others may need my help, I'm willing to help. And so that's what I hope people feel about Chicago.
You always inspire me. Every time we get a chance to sit down and speak, I miss speaking to you.
I'm not hard to find.
we need another trip together because I do miss hearing your thoughts. I'm so happy that you were able to take the time today, despite the ticket, to spend some time.
It's right there on the window. I'm in the car because I had to get a business license today. But even in these things, I hope someone hears your podcast, watches this, and they say, man, look at that black brother with a fitted hat, some locks, pushing through. We all can push through.
Absolutely. I agree. Where can people find you?
I'm online, the number 6 FIGGA_DILLA, 6 Figure Dilla. Also, our website is chicagomahogany.com.
Wonderful. And I'll make sure to list all of that because I want everyone to follow you. If you're out here listening, if you're looking to invest in a social impact business that is really making a change from the ground all the way up, you are the person they should be invested in. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time again. Always great to see you. For all my listeners and all my watchers, you can find us on the Cavu Group YouTube page, the Cavu Group's all social media. I'm Leslie Short, your host and the owner of Cavu Group, and I look forward to sharing with you soon. Keep expanding beyond your current culture. Thank you all.